Mistakes are inevitable, but second chances? Those take invention. Before Ctrl+Z, before the delete key, before word processors, there was the tyranny of the typewriter. Every letter was a commitment, ink stamped onto paper by pressure and speed. One wrong keystroke, and the sentence unraveled. In an office world built on precision, there was no forgiveness. That is, until a secretary from Texas decided mistakes could be painted out of existence. Welcome back to Inventing America, the podcast that uncovers the forgotten minds behind the tools we take for granted. Today, we meet a woman who saw a typo not as an ending, but an opportunity, and turned a kitchen experiment into an office empire. This is the story of Bette Nesmith Graham's invention, the typist's undo button. The year was 1951. Bette Nesmith Graham was a 27-year-old single mother in Dallas, Texas, juggling work as a secretary at Texas Bank and Trust with raising her young son, Michael. Like many women in post-war America, she was navigating an office culture still dominated by men, with expectations of perfection in every typed line. The electric typewriter had recently arrived, promising speed and efficiency, but at a cost. Unlike manual typewriters, where a typist could sometimes backspace and re-strike a correct letter, the electric's lighter touch and carbon ribbon made that impossible. An error meant either starting over or manually retyping the page. Time lost, paper wasted. Bette's artistic background, she had training in commercial art, gave her an unconventional perspective. Painters didn't erase their mistakes. They painted over them. Why couldn't typing work the same way? In her kitchen, Bette began experimenting. She mixed water-based tempera paint to match the bond paper used in her office, blending it in her kitchen blender. She poured the mixture into small nail polish bottles, complete with a tiny brush. The idea was simple. Cover the wrong letter with a dab of paint, let it dry, and type the correction directly over it. At first, it was just her secret trick, which she called mistake out. But when her co-workers noticed her flawless pages, word spread quickly. Soon, she was filling bottles for the whole office. Demand grew beyond her workplace. Secretaries from other companies began asking for the product. Bette refined the formula, testing different opacities, adjusting viscosity to ensure quick drying, and tweaking pigments for a seamless match to common office papers. By 1956, she had rebranded Mistake Out as liquid paper and was producing it from her garage. She bought paint mixers, sourced bulk bottles, and enlisted help from friends and family, including her teenage son, Michael Nesmith, who would later become a member of the music group The Monkees. During these years, she was running a business in the margins of her life, working full days at the bank, then coming home to fill orders, label bottles, and handle correspondence at night. But her employer eventually caught on. When she was found using company equipment for her side business, she was fired. Instead of defeat, Bette took it as a sign to go all in. She invested her savings, took out small loans, and scaled production. She established a dedicated manufacturing space and built a sales team. By the mid-1960s, liquid paper was distributed nationwide, aided by the explosion of the secretarial workforce and the standardization of electric typewriters. By 1975, her factory was producing over 25 million bottles a year. In 1979, she sold liquid paper to Gillette for $47.5 million, equivalent to over $190 million today, plus ongoing royalties. From a kitchen blender to an industrial assembly line, Bette's product had become a global office staple. Correction fluid may seem simple, but Bette's invention was a marriage of chemistry and practicality. The formula had to be opaque enough to hide ink, yet thin enough to apply smoothly with a small brush. It needed to dry quickly, without clumping or peeling under the pressure of typewriter keys. It also had to resist discoloration over time so that corrected pages didn't show yellowed patches. Liquid paper's success was partly due to Bette's insistence on quality control. Each batch was tested for consistency in color, drying time, and adhesion. She also innovated packaging, nail polish-style bottles for individual use and larger dispensers for office stockrooms. In a pre-digital world, this was more than a cosmetic fix. It was a time-saving device that could salvage entire documents, improve productivity, and spare typists the humiliation of turning in messy work. Her invention also had ripple effects. It subtly shifted office culture, reducing the pressure for perfection on the first try, and allowing for more efficient drafting and editing. It was, in a very literal sense, the analog undo button. Bette's success didn't stop at personal wealth. She established the Bette Nesmith Graham Foundation, dedicated to supporting women in business, and the Graham Foundation for Women in the Arts, offering grants to female artists and entrepreneurs. Her philosophy was simple: mistakes happen, but what matters is what you do next. She saw her invention not just as a product, but as a metaphor for possibility and resilience. In her lifetime, she awarded hundreds of grants, often to women who, like herself, were balancing ambition with adversity. Bette died in 1980 at the age of 56, just a year after selling liquid paper. By then, her white fluid was used in offices in over 100 countries. Even in the digital age, correction fluid remains in use, proof that her solution was both elegant and enduring. Thanks for listening to Inventing America. If you believe in second chances, tap that follow button and help share the show. It means the world. Next time, we'll meet a farmer who turned his wheat field into an engine of innovation. Join us for the self-propelled harvester.